The morning rush at Rosita's Café was in full swing. I navigated between tables with practiced ease, coffee pot in one hand, order pad in the other. Table 6 wanted extra maple syrup. Table 12 needed their check. And at table 3 sat my brother Eduardo, holding court with his business associates like he owned the place. "Elena," he snapped his fingers at me. "More coffee. And this time make sure it's hot." I bit my tongue and refilled his cup, just as I'd been doing every Tuesday morning for the past 2 years. Eduardo's power breakfast meetings were a regular occurrence at Rosita's, close to his real estate office, cheap enough that he could treat clients without straining his overleveraged budget. "So as I was saying," Eduardo continued, loud enough for half the restaurant to hear, "the new development in Riverside is going to be huge. We're talking 50 units, luxury amenities. I've already got investors lined up." His associate, a nervous-looking man in an ill-fitting suit, nodded eagerly. "That sounds impressive, Mr. Torres. And you're sure the financing is secure?" "Absolutely," Eduardo lied smoothly. I knew it was a lie because just last night, he'd called me begging for a loan. "Again, 20,000, he'd said. "Just to bridge the gap until the investors come through. You know I'm good for it, Elena." "I can't," I'd told him, wiping down tables after closing. "Can't or won't." His voice had turned ugly. "Come on, you must have some savings. How much can a waitress spend?" "The answer is no, Eddie." "You're just a waitress," he'd laughed, the sound bitter and dismissive. "What could you possibly know about real money? About business? I'm trying to build something here, and you're counting pennies in tip jars." Now, watching him perform for his potential client, I wondered if he even remembered the cruel words. Probably not. In Eduardo's world, I was background noise, the sister who'd wasted her potential by not going to college, who'd settled for serving coffee while he chased real estate dreams. "Excuse me, miss?" An elderly woman at table 5 raised her hand. "Could I get more hot water for my tea?" "Of course, Mrs. Chun." I smiled warmly. "How's your grandson doing at MIT?" "Oh, wonderful. He just got accepted into the doctoral program." Her face lit up. "Thank you for writing that recommendation letter, by the way. He said it made all the difference." "Happy to help," I said, meaning it. Eduardo's voice carried over again. "The thing about success is knowing when to take risks. My sister there." He gestured at me dismissively. "She'll be serving coffee until she's 70 because she doesn't understand that. No vision. No ambition." His associate chuckled awkwardly. I saw regular customers shoot Eduardo disapproving looks, but he was oblivious. "Elena's not just," Mrs. Chin started to say, but I gently touched her shoulder. "It's fine," I whispered. "Let him talk." The morning continued its familiar rhythm. I served eggs and bacon, refilled coffee cups, chatted with regulars who'd become like family over the years. Eduardo left a $2 tip on a $40 bill, making sure to fold it ostentatiously so everyone could see his generosity. "See you next week, sis," he said loudly. "Keep that coffee hot." After he left, Rosita herself emerged from the kitchen. "Mija, why do you let him talk to you like that?" "He's family," I shrugged, loading dirty dishes into a bus tub. "Family doesn't mean doormat," she said firmly. "When are you going to tell him?" "Tell him what?" I asked innocently. Rosita shook her head. "AI, Elena. Someday that boy is going to learn what his sister really is. And it's going to be a shock." The next morning started like any other. I was setting up the coffee station when my phone buzzed. Jonathan Reeves, my portfolio manager. "Elena, I need your signature on the Riverside acquisition. Can you come by the office?" "I'm at the cafe until noon," I said, measuring coffee grounds. "Send Marcus over with the papers." "The entire Riverside portfolio?" he confirmed. "That's 18 properties, including the building my brother's been trying to finance." "Yes, I know." There was a pause. "Elena, you realize this means." "I realize." "Send the papers." By 10 a.m., the breakfast rush had calmed. I was wiping down the counter when Marcus arrived, not in his usual casual clothes, but in his full bank manager suit. He wasn't alone. 2 other suited professionals flanked him, looking serious. "Ms. Torres," Marcus said formally, "we need to discuss the Riverside acquisition." Several customers looked up curiously. Mrs. Chin smiled behind her teacup. "Let's use the back booth," I suggested, untying my apron. We settled into the corner booth, the same one where Eduardo often held his important meetings. Marcus spread out documents across the table. "The total purchase price for the portfolio is $8.7 million, he said quietly. Are you certain you want to proceed? Yes, I signed where indicated. But I want specific conditions on the Torres property. Which conditions? The current mortgage holder gets 30 days notice. No extensions. No negotiations. I paused. And I want you to deliver the notice personally. Marcus raised an eyebrow. That's unusual. May I ask why? My brother needs a lesson in humility, I said simply. Your brother? Marcus's eyes widened. Eduardo Torres is your brother? Unfortunately. But he doesn't know about. Marcus gestured vaguely at the papers representing millions in real estate holdings. No, he thinks I'm just a waitress. Let's show him what just a waitress can do. The papers were signed, witnessed, and notarized within the hour. When I returned to my station, one of Eduardo's regular associates was at the counter. Elena, right? He said. Eduardo's sister. That's right. What can I get you? Just coffee. He studied me curiously. Can I ask you something? Why do you work here? I mean, with your brother doing so well in real estate, couldn't he help you find something better? I smiled, pouring his coffee. I like it here. I meet interesting people. Learn their stories. Help where I can. But don't you want more? Success? Money. What makes you think I don't have those things? I asked mildly. He laughed. Well, I mean, you're a waitress. Yes, I agreed. I am. I'm also other things. Before he could ask what I meant, the morning rush picked up again. I lost myself in the familiar dance of service, the comfortable rhythm of regular orders and friendly conversations. This was my choice, my joy. Let Eduardo have his power lunches and his desperate deals. I had something better. The next morning, my phone rang at 6 a.m. Eduardo. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again. And again. Finally, on the fourth call, I answered. What is it, Eddie? What did you do? His voice was high, panicked. The bank manager just left. They're calling in my mortgage. The whole Riverside deal. Everything I've been working on. They bought it all. Who bought it? I don't know. Some investment company. ET Holdings. They're demanding full payment in 30 days, or they're foreclosing. Elena, I need your help. I need that loan now more than ever. 20,000. No, 50,000. I'll pay you back with interest, I swear. I told you no, Eddie. You don't understand, he practically screamed. This is my life. My business. Everything I've built. Built on what? I asked calmly. Lies? Leverage debt? Looking down on everyone you think is beneath you. What are you talking about? Yesterday, you sat in my restaurant and told a stranger that I have no vision, no ambition. That I'll be serving coffee until I'm 70 because I don't understand success. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You've meant it every time you've dismissed me. Every time you've snapped your fingers at me like I'm the help. Every time you've left an insulting tip while bragging about your big deals. Elena, please. I'm begging you. ET Holdings, I said slowly. Elena Torres Holdings. That's who bought your mortgage, Eddie. The silence stretched so long I thought he'd hung up. That's impossible, he finally whispered. Is it? Or is it impossible that your waitress sister could be more than you assumed? You don't have that kind of money. You can't. Can I? I pulled up my laptop, checking my portfolio while I talked. Do you know why I work at Rosita's? Because I love it. Because Rosita gave me a job when I was 18 and desperate. Because the regulars have become my family. Because I can help people, really help them, without them knowing who's behind it. I don't understand. Mrs. Chen's grandson? I paid for his undergraduate degree. Anonymous scholarship. Tommy Martinez, the contractor who comes in every morning? I invested in his company when the banks wouldn't. He's built half the affordable housing in this city. Sarah Williams, the single mom who works nights? Her daughter just graduated medical school debt-free thanks to a mysterious benefactor. But how? Cryptocurrency, I said simply. I started mining Bitcoin in 2010 when everyone thought it was a joke. Sold at the right times, invested wisely, built slowly. No flash, no bragging, no power breakfasts. Just smart decisions and compound interest. You're lying. The bank manager will confirm everything. You have 30 days, Eddie. Use them wisely. Elena, you can't do this. I'm your brother. Yes, you are. Which is why I'm giving you 30 days instead of demanding immediate payment. And why I'm going to make you an offer. What offer? Hope crept into his voice. Come work at the cafe. Minimum wage plus tips. Show me you can treat people with respect. All people, not just the ones you think matter. 6 months of honest work, and I'll restructure your debt into something manageable. You want me to be a waiter? He sounded horrified. I want you to learn what service really means. What success really looks like. What family really is. This is insane. You're insane. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just a waitress who understands more about business than you ever gave me credit for. Your choice, Eddie. 30 days. I hung up. An hour later, I was back at Rosita's, apron tied, coffee pot in hand. The morning regulars filtered in with their familiar orders and warm greetings. Mrs. Chun patted my hand knowingly when I served her tea. Tommy Martinez left his usual generous tip with a wink. Sarah Williams showed me pictures of her daughter's graduation ceremony. Did you hear? One customer said to another. Eduardo Torres's real estate empire is collapsing. Apparently, some mystery investor bought up all his debt. Couldn't happen to a more arrogant person, the other replied. Did you see how he treats his sister? Acts like she's beneath him. I refilled their coffee cups silently, hiding my smile. At noon, as I was finishing my shift, Eduardo walked in. He looked smaller somehow, his usual swagger replaced by uncertainty. He stood at the entrance, scanning the room until his eyes found me. I walked over, order pad in hand. Table for one? He swallowed hard. Elena, can we talk? I'm working. Please. I seated him at table 3, his usual spot. The irony wasn't lost on either of us. I've been up all night, he said quietly. Thinking about everything. About how I've treated you. About what success really means. And I've been an idiot. A complete, arrogant idiot. He met my eyes. I'm sorry, Elena. For everything. Sorry enough to bust tables for 6 months? He winced. You're really going to make me do this? I'm offering you a chance to save your business and learn something valuable. That's more than you offered me when I needed help at 18. I know. He slumped in his seat. When can I start? Tomorrow. 6 a.m. sharp. Rosita will train you. Rosita knows? Rosita knows everything. She's been like a mother to me. I smiled slightly. The mother who taught me that real wealth isn't about what you display. It's about what you do with what you have. Eduardo nodded slowly. Just a waitress, he muttered. God, I'm such a fool. No, I corrected. You were ignorant. Foolish would be staying that way. As I walked away to serve other customers, I heard him call out, Elena? I turned back. That recommendation you wrote for Mrs. Chen's grandson? The investments in local businesses? The scholarships? His voice was thick with emotion. That's what real success looks like, isn't it? It's a start, I said. Show up tomorrow, and maybe you'll learn the rest. The next morning, Eduardo was there at 5:45 a.m., waiting by the locked door. Rosita let him in, handed him an apron, and began showing him how to set up the coffee station. I watched from the kitchen as my brother, who'd spent years looking down on service workers, learned to serve others with humility. It would be a long 6 months, but I had hope. After all, I was just a waitress. And I'd learned that sometimes that's exactly the right thing to be.